Hi everybody. In this video, I'm going to go over a Lego train MOC that I created. It's a model of a passenger baggage combine that was built around 1914 in a heavyweight style for the New York Central Railroad. Rolling stock in this style was made by multiple OEMs in that era and were supplied to all the Northeast commuter railroads. This model is 8 studs wide by 64 studs long. It has 1,005 parts, and it was built in Q1 of 2023. Upon reflection, I don't think I had a clear motivation for selecting this particular piece of rolling stock to model, other than thinking that the notion of a passenger and baggage combination car was just interesting and unique because we don't really do that in the modern era. And I also like the overall visual style of cars from this period of history. Unlike the Siemens Venture project in my previous video, which I just calculated the critical dimensions and eyeballed them from photos, when I executed this project, I worked from a scaled drawing. I inserted it as a background into a spreadsheet and scaled the cells of the spreadsheet to the dimensions of Lego bricks. This helped me locate all the critical features. Interestingly, I think the drawing I worked from is actually incorrect. I think the dimension callouts are probably correct, but I don't think the sketch is scaled properly. I don't think it's proportional. I think the model should be about 1 to 2 plates taller, although I haven't verified this in AutoCAD or similar. From a technical perspective, there isn't really that much sophistication in this model. The only novelty is that the bogies have 3 axles, consistent with heavyweight cars of that era. So the middle axle has to translate laterally to negotiate curves. I could have just omitted the center axle entirely because they're barely visible when the MOC is fully assembled. But that's the implementation that I used. This model also served as an experiment with decals, as in like, do they actually adhere to Lego plastic? It seems from my result here that they do, but and this finding permits me to explore the space of other MOCs where the decals are more central to the design, such as boxcars. Performance-wise, I think this model is acceptable. It's not compatible with all possible R40 configurations due to its length and the way it overhangs in corners. But we knew that already. That's not really informed by any particular idiosyncrasies of this design. It's just because of the overall length and consequence of building in 1 to 48th scale. I will say there's seems to be no significant increased frictional load from having 50% more axles over a reference 65 stud car. And I also haven't observed any issues with the floating center axles, like fouling over switches or something like that. Overall, this is not one of my favorite train MOCs that I created. A lot of very talented train MOC builders have attempted to build train cars from this era, and my solution ended up being pretty similar to what's already out there, particularly with the clear story roof. In this scale, there's like only so many ways you can model that feature. And I think in the future, this project motivated me to select other projects where I can be more original. Also, the construction of the body itself is also pretty simple. It's pretty much entirely studs up, and just basic, with a plate floor and a removable roof. I also would like to challenge myself to select projects where the visual features and structure are a little bit more sophisticated. In my future videos, I'll show some more recent MOCs that are a bit more advanced. The model has a removable roof and seating for minifigs, although I didn't do any special work to detail the baggage area. It also has some simple greebles on the bottom, but I didn't put in a ton of effort to make these greebles like exactly representative of the real train. This model also doesn't really fit into my sort of railroad as I've constructed it, because I only have a modern locomotive built right now. I would need to build a northeastern commuter locomotive from this era to pull this rolling stock. I have other unfinished MOCs built digitally but not in real life, that are either complementary rolling stock or locomotives from this era. In the future, I may pursue building those to sort of build out this theme of like pre-World War II commuter railroad. Anyways, thanks for watching.